Okay guys, let's start. So first we are going to install Splunk. For that we have to download it, right? So for that I'm just searching for download Splunk. Have this result. So we have the splunk.com where we can download the enterprise version of Splunk from the official website. For the free trial, you have to create an account for that. Okay, so you can just create an account, and in this case we are focusing on Windows installation and configuration. So you can just download the Windows 1 of Splunk from here. Here you have the email address, password, and these are some of the details that you need to enter to get to create an account. Once you create an account, then you will be able to see an option to download Splunk. Okay, so this is something that you should do. So once you download Splunk, it will look like this. Yeah, this is basically an MSI file. So you can see it's about 1.202 GB in my case. In your case, it may be different. So yeah, what you can do is, as usual, double click that particular file, and Windows installer is preparing this to install and computing these requirements. So in this case, we have to check this box to accept the license agreement, and it is installing in this location, and all those things is shown here. You can just click next, and you have to create a username. In this case, I'm just creating username as username, and I'm also creating password. So we also have to enter that in the confirm password. You have to enter the password and create a username. So after that, you can just once you create the username and password, then you can just click next and start. So from here you can see it's installing. So yeah, you have a pop-up option from the user access control, the user account control. I'm just clicking yes. So it is computing the space requirements first. After that, it is validating the installation, and the status was going so fast. It's cool. So it is updating, and it's generating script operations for action, and it is also copying new files, and it's running. So we can see what is happening there from here, right? So yeah, as an ethical hacker, you have to read every content that is being seen in the screen. Okay, so it is publishing the product features. Just closing this. It is updating the common and registration. So in this enterprise version, you may have a little bit of limits, I think. So yeah, you will be able to see that in the PPT section of this video. I do show you PPT contents and make you understand more about it. If you don't know, or if you don't understand some concept here in this practical demonstration, then you will be able to understand from the PPT. So that is why I highly recommend you to watch this video till the end without skipping. Okay, it is copying new files. Okay, after waiting a lot of time, I was able to see the Splunk Enterprise was successfully installed, and there is a checkbox here which is checked, launch browser with Splunk Enterprise. Once you click finish, it will launch the Splunk Enterprise in the browser. I'm just clicking finish. So yeah, it just launched this in the browser. It's running on localhost on port 8000. You can see that from here, and you have an option to enter the username and password that you created at the time of installing this. So I'm just entering the username and password. So once you enter that, you can just click sign in or press enter on your keyboard, then you will be able to log in. So here I'm just inside the Splunk. So this is how the Splunk web interface looks like. So from here, what I'm going to do is to import my Windows security logs. For that, I'm just clicking here in the Splunk Enterprise button. So by clicking there, I am able to see an option called apps, bookmarks, dashboard, search history, recently viewed, and a lot more other options. So from here, I'm just clicking add data to add that data. So here you can see from here what data do you want to send to the Splunk platform. So here you have an option to upload a file. So this is a tour. I'm just skipping the tour. So here you have an option to upload files from your computer, or you can just import files and ports on this Splunk instance. So in this case, I'm just clicking the monitor option. Okay, by clicking that monitor option, it is loading. The interface is loading. It seems to be a little bit slow, so let it load. Okay, it just loaded and popped me up with helping you get more value from Splunk software and some of the informations. I'm just clicking got it as of now. And here we have local event logs, remote event logs, and some other options are available here. In this case, I'm just going to click the local event logs. So it seems to be a little bit slow in my case. So yeah, so from here, oh my god, this splitted into two, so let me correct that. Okay, so local event logs, collect event logs from this mission. So this is what we are going to do by clicking the local event logs option and click next. So I think I just need to click back. So here it is. So here we have a lot of available items. In this case, we are selecting the security logs. Once you click that, it is selected. If you want to select multiple logs, then you can just click application or setup or whatever you want. So in this case, I'm just only adding the security logs. So I just selected only security. After that, I'm just clicking next, and this is the host field value. I'm not going to change it. So I'm just clicking review, and this is what it is, the event logs from the security. So I'm just clicking submit, and local event logs input has been created successfully. Now I'm just clicking start searching. So in this case, our Windows security logs was imported to Splunk. So here we have a tour. I'm just skipping the tour as of now. So here we have the host selected as our host and the source selected as Windows log. So here we have to change this time range to all time. So in this case, it's already at that all time. So I'm just closing this window. Okay, it seems to be a bit slow. Okay, so now I have around 6,000 plus logs. So by clicking here in the all time, now I have 12,040 logs as of now. These are some of the security logs, right? So these are from the security. So this is what we important, right? So here by clicking the all time again, it is still loading. So let it load. So here we have some options like once you click a log, then you will be able to see the detailed information. Like we have the message and we have the object name, the logon ID, and a lot of other things. So what I'm going to do here is you can just click here from various places to see if you want to get information about the root or admin user, which is the NT authority system. By clicking that, you will be able to see the logs like that. So like that, you have a lot of other options which will be available in these interesting fields. This is something that you should explore, or you can just watch my Splunk video, and I've been doing a walkthrough of that also. But in this case, what we are going to do is we are going to create logs. Okay, so I'm just changing this into index equal to star, so which pretty much means that it will pull up all those logs. So what I'm going to do as of now is we have 21,000 plus logs. So I'm just going to log out my mission, like by clicking here I can just log my mission. Okay, so now I just logged this mission. Now it is asking me to enter the password. I'm just entering some wrong credentials. One time I entered wrong, the second time I entered wrong, two times I entered wrong credentials. Now I'm just entering the correct password and logging in. So now let's see if this was recorded. So as of now the time is 7:11 p.m. So from here we have a log on 7:10 p.m. Which you can just click here to expand, and you can see this is about audit success log, but we are not audit success, we are just investigating another log. So we can just click here for the event code. 4624 is basically the success logs. We are changing this 4624 to the file log attempts by changing to 4625. So by changing that, we have the 7:10:58 seconds. So now that seems to be what we want. So the account name, you can see that hacker. So after that you have the event code. This is what we are looking for, and you can see audit failure. So here you have the logon tape. I'm just going to explain what a logon tape is in the PPT section of this video, so make sure to watch that part also. That is much important. So from here you will be able to see a message, an account file to login. and some other details about it. So like that, you can just record your Windows logs using this method. So and we also perform 2 times, right? So this is the one time, 7:10:53 second and 7:10:58 seconds. You will be able to expand and view more details about it. Okay, so this is pretty much about it in this practical section. Now we are moving to the PPT section, where you will be going to understand a little bit more. On the practical section, we covered these 4 of them. So one of them is downloading and installing Splunk, and we also covered the configuration of Windows event logs, and we also covered the triggering file logins. The hunt with SPL is going to cover in this PPT section a little bit more. So let's start with download and install. This is something that you do, but there are some limits that you should know. So like 500 MB per day, so 60-day trial, then free forever, like that. There will be some kind of this available. It will be by default on port 8000, as you see in the demo. It will run on the localhost on port 8000. This is Splunk Web UI. In case of management API, it will run on port 8089, and in case of forwarder input, it will run on by default port 9997. So this is how it is. So you have to know these kinds of things, and we just downloaded the .msi file, right? Not .exe, right? So there is the MSI file. We just done this in practical, but this is something that you should definitely need to take a look on it. So other than that, we also configure this in Windows event log. Like we just move to the settings, add data and monitor Windows event logs. We just added that in the practical section, right? We just only selected the security part, right? So why the security log? Like the event ID 4625 here means that file logon attempts. We were able to discover that in the practical section, right? We also looked at the 4624 before a little bit. So you can just configure and take a look on it, 4624, which is about successful logons. And we also have some other events like 4648, which pretty much means that explicit credential use, and 4720 user account created, and 4776, which is the credential validation. Okay, other than that, we also learned about ID 4625, which is an account file to Logon. We just seen everything in action. So which pretty much means that it will generate every time Windows rejects a login attempt, wrong password or wrong username or logged account, etc. This is the primary event SOC analyst monitor for brute force and credential stuffing attack. But as I mentioned in the practical section, we have the logon tape, right? So if you don't if you skip that part, or if you don't see that part, just go back and watch the practical section, and there I am just talking a little bit about the logon tape. So there will be something coming in the logon tape, so you can just go and look at the logon tape. In our case, it's basically the tape 2. Okay, let me put the pen. You can see it's in our case, it's basically the tape 2 in our case. Okay, so that pretty much means that it is interactive, which is physically taped at the keyboard. So that is what our demo is, right? So we just physically tape the keyboard. That pretty much means that the tape 2 logon tape, which we physically taped in the keyboard and it filed. So that's not a big issue, but in this case, in our case, that's not a big issue. Okay, so in this case, it's tape 3. If it is tape 3, so it will be network related, so which pretty much means that it is remote or SMB map drives or file shares. This is somewhat dangerous, something to take a look on it. And in tape 7, if it is the logon tape is tape 7, then it is unlock. So screen unlock or lock screen attempt was made. So you can see about the tapes. You have to look at the logon tapes. This is how SOC analysts look for. And we have the tape 10, which is about remote interactive. So which is about RDP login attempt and common attack vectors. So these are some of the logon tapes that you should definitely need to know. So other than that, we will detect it with Splunk SPL. So we have to learn the Splunk processing language. We just use the index equal to star for getting all the logs. And we also can use something like these to get more information specific to that. So in this case, what does this means? Like index equal to star means that it will search for all indexes. You can also use index equal to main to narrow down. Other than that, we also have the source tape equal to win event log, which will filter the Windows event log only. So, and we also have the event code equal to 4625, which is filed logon events only. And we have the stats count by, which is group by and count by username, IP, and logon tape. So we also have sort minus count, which is showing highest counts first, attackers appears as the top. So this is how you can just sort it using the Splunk processing language. Okay, so other than that, we are going to reading the results, like what a SOC analyst look for. SOC analyst will look for the account name, if it is an administrator or admin or a user, like guest or test user, whatever it is. And they are also going to look at the IP address and the logon type. So logon type is what is necessary in this case. It's just physical logon type, but if it is 3, it is network related, right? So if it is 10, it is again RDP attack, right? So you can see, so let me erase that. It's RDP. Okay, so other than that, if it is 3, then it is again network type, right? So we have some red flags in this case. You can see 50 plus file logon attempts pretty much means that it may be the brute force attacks. So if the logon type is type 3 or 10, it may be network. If it is type 3 or if it is type 10, it may be RDP attacks. So off low hours time, like if somebody logs into the computer on 3 a.m., it seems to be suspicious because this is out of the office time. So in multiple IP, like distributed attack, you will be able to see multiple IPs. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. So yeah, you will be able to see something like this in our demo, like account name equal to your Windows username, and you can just give put this pipe symbol and the source IP, and again pipe symbol for executing all. So and logon tape, and like that you can just sort that. So this is something that you should do in your own demo. So after that, we will be at the end. Like Splunk is free for home labs, like 500 MB per day. It's plenty to practice SOC analyst workflows, and even log 4625 is fight logon, and this is the single most important event, Windows event for detecting attacks. And we have the logon type tells the story. If it is 2, it's local. If it is 3, it's network related. If it is 10, it's RDP. Always check this field. So this is something important that you should definitely need to take a look on it. So other than that, we have the SPL. This is your superpower. We have to know Splunk processing language for stats, so time chart. 3 commands cover 80% of SOC investigations, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much about it, guys. I hope I was able to deliver you some important concepts in this video. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.